Hello and welcome to another update video about ICP. ICP continues to move in corrective structures. Tried to break out earlier today. Weekend breakout, often they go along with limited volume, and that was also the case this time. It fell back below the breakout point, the previous swing high and structural resistance. So not a sign of strength at the moment, short term, this rejection that we've seen here. But anyway, it's just moving in corrective structures as we talked about before. So where are we on this chart? First of all, it is a chart that is currently likely in a correction. You know, this last rally here was also just in 3 waves. Then we had this pullback. The support zone did hold. We have a break above structural resistance, but not a sustained break. It needs to be a sustained break for us to look towards the next resistance level at $14.28, $14.30, and then above that level, the ideal target for a C wave starts. Okay, so if this is indeed an A, B, C structure, then we'd like to see it get there around about $15.25, $15.26, which it can still do. Obviously it just fell back below resistance, which doesn't show a lot of strength. So it fell back below support, previous resistance, which doesn't show a lot of strength, but it's way too early to say it's breaking down or something. There are plenty of options to label this as a correction still, in which it could turn around. So plenty of options. However, what we should do is to add a micro support area here again to tell us when it's likely it's going to break down and this move up in wave C is failing. Basically, all I can highlight is that a break below $11.73 here would suggest it certainly is not progressing yet in wave C, because such a wave C is a 5-wave pattern, right? So it could either be, I'm talking about this rally up, it could either be this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is something I'm potentially watching, but then in this wave 2 pullback, it shouldn't break below 11.73. The sustained break below the 78.6 fib level indicates weakness. It is also possible that this is not an A, B, C, but instead a W, X, Y, which should lead to similar targets. But then the Y wave, what would be the Y wave, is actually an A, B, C pattern itself. But also here, ideally, that $11.73 level is holding, which means that as long as 11.73 is holding, it certainly might be progressing higher. It's not, this is not a high confidence move because we're dealing with corrections. So they basically do what they want. They don't really adhere to let's say, they are not very stable. Let's say it like that. They are not very stable. But yeah, overall, we are printing at the moment higher highs, higher lows. I can only share with you this as corrective price action. Doesn't show a lot of strength at the moment, at least it doesn't. The support is $11.73, micro support. I'll take that off the chart again, but that is micro support against which this C wave can unfold. Okay, maybe it's turning into a WXY, but it wouldn't really make a strong, practically it wouldn't really make a great difference. What happens below 11.73? Then it's likely we are retesting the previous low and might head down further towards that yellow support area. So overall, this chart is likely in a correction. I still would like to see the price come down a little lower. In this correction, it looks unfinished, this correction. We have from this September low a 5-wave pattern to the upside. And it should get a 3-wave pullback. Well, it did get a 3-wave pullback here to the 23rd of January lows, but that pullback is a little bit too shallow to be really reliable. Didn't even hit the support area. So therefore, I explained it's likely it's forming a larger A, B, C structure. And below $10.23, which is the lower support area, our lower pivot, I think it's getting confirmed that this C wave down is unfolding towards that larger support area. And then these Fibonacci supports come into play. They are really relevant for the longer term outlook, where we say, okay, we have a wave 1 and a wave 2, or an A, B, C structure. So this is the main support area. Everything that happens up here is literally just noise and literally just part of a smaller correction, which, you know, can change, morph, transform. I think main takeaway is we are still in a correction. We are not really, at least there is no evidence for another strong uptrend. Anything is possible. I just don't see the evidence at this stage. You see how the uptrend, which was quite aggressive, it's slowing down, you know. It's very choppy. Movements are overlapping. So yeah, what can I say? I think the levels are clear. I gave you micro support. I highlighted to you which level needs to hold to keep going higher. And by the way, ideal target zone for that C wave is between $15.26 and $18.49. No need to get all the way up there, but ideally it gets to $15.25 if this is an ABC structure. But then it needs to reclaim the previous resistance here again at $13.03, $13.02. And then the next structural resistance level is at $14.24. And then we've got this target area. So overall, just sideways action at the moment, basically overlapping corrective price action. I don't see a reliable setup at this stage. This is literally just range-bound movement at the moment. I think it can get interesting from a reward to risk point of view when we get a dip into this area for trading basically the orange C wave higher or yellow wave 3. Yeah? So that's sort of what we are watching potentially next. But I want to see first this correction complete, either through a dip into the support area, then a nice reaction, or if it's going up more directly, I want to see at least some kind of an impulse, which gives us an edge, because at the moment this is just a choppy nightmare. Okay, so not much more to add. So I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.